We are Antonio Gad, Mira Yusuf, Peter George, Joseph Samuel, and me, Ahmad Hassan. I will be talking about our DSD project. Today we live in a world which is evolving towards a more automated lifestyle, making people's life easier and simpler. And the problem we are trying to address here is when you wake up in the morning, not fully concentrated, not fully focused, you are required to do lots of effort to switch on the lights, to open the doors of your garage, to get your car out of the garage, and there is a high probability that you might crash into one of the walls. So our project uses sensors attached to the wall to detect whether you are going to crash to a wall or not. Detects your motion, and based on that it switches on and off the lights of the garage, and it opens and closes the garage doors by detecting your presence in the garage and your motion in the garage.
Now I'm going to explain to you the hardware we used in this project. First, we have a motor to open and close the door. We have a motion sensor to detect the motion of anybody entering the garage to light up the LEDs. We have proximity sensor, which acts as a parking sensor. When any objects get close to it, there is a sound coming out from this buzz. We have this push button for the light and this switch button for the motor. Of course, we have our board, the Altera, and we have jumpers. This LED is to show that the system is working.
Now I'm going to explain the software algorithm. First of all, we created the module and declaring and initializing the parameters of inputs and outputs. After, we declared the registers that make the output variables in the always block. In the always block, we start with the algorithm that controls the proximity sensor to avoid obstacle collision with the garage walls. So, the output of the buzzer should be the complement of the input value of that proximity sensor. After, we wrote the algorithm that controls the light. The PIR motion sensor track any motion and invert it to a positive signal and put the green LED light up, and this push button turn off all the light. Finally, the switch controls the door motor to help in the opening and closing the garage door.
After discussing the software part and the hardware part, now we will discuss how we connected both together by talking about the pin assignments. This one is used to connect the VCC, this one for the ground, here the buzzer, and this one is the motor. Here is the proximity sensor and the PIR. This push button is used to turn off the light, and this control switch to control the motor. Here, as it's shown in the pin assignment according to the datasheet, we have the input clock, output alert, output door, input door S, 8 LED, and input PIR, input PS, and input push button.
Now we have finished explaining everything and how system works. We will now test if system work or not. And now we're gonna see if the motor will run or not. And it's nicely working. We will now test the proximity sensor. If I put my hand here, and it's successfully detected. Now we're gonna see if the motion sensor is working or not. And yes, it's working. Now we tested it and it's all working. Thank you for watching.